Um, Honorable Mijit Sokpen, members of the parliament, I think we have few of them, and fellow speakers, moderators, and ladies and gentlemen. So I have the honor of being the first speaker. We had a quiet discussion before this, and then Madam Namge said she would like to go last. Then I said, maybe I will start, because it's a privilege to be with two of the most well-known journalists of Bhutan on stage. And I think if they go fast, it will be difficult for me to, I think, be at their bar. So I decided to go fast, Sejunil. So at the outset, I would like to mention that I'm from a technology background. I'm not really an expert on democracy or environment or conservation. But then, when I was in high school itself, I was a nature club member and active participant in RSPN-led essay competitions, and have won few prizes as well. And I took part in nature club activities. So I am very pro-environment, says Yunila. So I read up a bit, and I found that a lot of things that are, where technology and environment can come together. So I'll try to present that, Sejunil. To start with, I would like to mention that we are currently living in a very exciting time. At no point in the history of humankind on this planet been the change so fast. It is changing so fast every minute. And I think it's in the last 2 or 3 decades that the earth has seen the biggest change in terms of technology, in terms of the way we live, in every way. And along with that, I am a firm believer that technology is at the center of bringing changes to the way we live, and also the way, especially how the people's lives have been improved. So I think if we really look at history, probably for a common man, this is the time when his life is most comfortable. Maybe in the past, the powerful and the rich, they might have enjoyed comfortable lives, not the common man. But I think right now is the time when our earth is having probably the best life for the common man, for the average person. So it is anywhere in the world and in Bhutan as well. But along with this, because of the changes in technology, as I mentioned earlier, the pressure on the earth is also the greatest. So I would like to show you this graph. So if you look at the deforestation that has been happening, it has been increasing very drastically since 1950. Because as you know, along with technology, it really improves our ability to cut down forests. Initially, you might take days to cut down few trees. Then the machines came and easily. Now, earlier the machines needed operators. Now machines don't need even operators. You can just let a machine out into the jungle and the machine would cut down the forest on its own. So deforestation has been happening at a very alarming rate, Sejunila. So you can see the graph, how it has been increasing. And here, only the 3 major areas are represented: Amazon, Congo Basin, and Southeast Asia. So I think it is very alarming. And next, I want to quickly show you a timeline. This one is a very interesting picture that I saw, and it seems to be quite popular online. This is from a website called XKCD. It's a web comic, and this picture that they made, it seems to be quite popular. So I'll quickly show you the picture. So this shows a timeline of the Earth's temperature. It can be scrolled down. I'm sorry for taking time to set it up a bit. But our Earth is billions of, I think, years old. So here the timeline starts from 20,000 before Christ. when the Earth's temperature was somewhere below -4 degrees centigrade. And then going up is a timeline. Then not much change has happened. The temperature has remained almost steady. Then somewhere around 14,000 BC, there is some increase. But it's still, this line here, the line you see in the middle, that is 0 degrees. So this is the Earth temperature graph. So, you know, the Earth and also the human history is very, very old. And somewhere in 1500 BC, it has come little above 0 degrees. Then going down further, 1500 BC, 1000 BC, and then, so this is somewhere around the 1st century BC, when Jesus was born. And from there onwards, still there isn't much change. The Gupta Empire, all this Tang dynasty, and then it's coming up. And just look, if you look at it from the whole age of the Earth, within a very short period of time, the temperature has shot up. Here, they call it the hockey stick. So when you come here, it becomes a hockey stick. It goes this way. And this is the current trend. And the middle here, I think those at the back, you cannot see. This is the optimistic scenario. And this is the desired scenario. We wish it could be like this. But we seem to be going this way. So the Earth temperature is increasing drastically. So I would like to reflect on it from the whole time frame. Within the short period of time. No, with the technology, this is the thing that has been happening. So the rise in Earth temperature is not a myth, as some people say. So this is really something that is happening. And there is evidence to back it up. So next, having looked at the Earth temperature, I would like to now reflect on the some of the major cycles of extinction events that have occurred on the Earth. How many of you know how many cycles of extinction events that have happened on the Earth? So I also didn't really know before, frankly speaking. So I looked up, and actually 5 cycles of extinction events have happened. And the last extinction cycle happened 65 million years ago. At that time, around 50% of the different genera of species have disappeared, and 75% of the species disappeared from the face of Earth. And right now, we are in a cycle of the 6th mass extinction. So even as we stand here, hundreds and hundreds of species are becoming extinct. And this is a quote from the Chief Environmental Officer at Microsoft. He says, "We know that species are becoming extinct at a rapid pace, at least 1,000 times more quickly than would be expected in the absence of human activities." They say that the difference between this cycle of extinction activity and the previous cycle is that this time it is man-made, all because of man-made activities. So humanity has wiped out about 60% of animal populations since 1970, our report finds. And this picture here is from the Amazon. So a lot of forests are cleared for cattle farming. So this is the kind of the bleak scenario when we look at the, the condition of our Earth, of our environment. However, I think, as I mentioned earlier, this also coincides with the rapid advancement in technologies. So there is probably some hope that technology may come to the rescue. So technologies like artificial intelligence. So these are already being used a lot by conservationists. The picture here is from Hawaii. So I would like to quickly say what this picture represents. in Hawaii, I think there are two rare species of bird which are being killed because of the power lines. And many people think that these accidents are very rare. Then some conservationists, they recorded the sounds. They recorded the sounds of birds striking the power line. But for the conservationists to really listen to the sounds and to analyze this data is very difficult. So here the artificial intelligence comes to the rescue. So all these sounds are fed into the artificial software, artificial intelligence machine. And then this was able to give accurate data of how many bird strikes are happening. And they found that it is much more than people expected. So these are kind of how technologies will come in use for conservation. And there are also a lot of other tools that can be used for used by the conservationists. And there are companies that have come up. For instance, this Conservation Matrix is a company that gives artificial intelligence solution to conservationists. So there are other tools called Wildbooks, and there is one which is a network called Automated Remote Biodiversity Monitoring Network, REBMONSE, and I think drones, I need not even explain. So drones would be, I think, tremendously helpful for conservationists. And recently I read a news where drones have been used to plant trees and also for monitoring species disruption. And next is a concept called IoT, Internet of Things. We are becoming increasingly connected. Just now, humans are already connected to the internet. All of us are connected to the internet through our mobile phones. So all of us are. Next, now things are getting connected, and the animals and plants will be connected to the internet. Then the conservationists will have real-time data to monitor and see what's happening. The next technology that we have is blockchain. Some say blockchain is a solution in search of a problem. So there are a lot of problems that can be solved by blockchain. There are a lot of learning resources that our conservationists can use to learn about new technologies. Deep learning open source libraries that two of the biggest companies in the world, Google and Facebook, have put on, called Tensor and PyTorch. There are a lot of resources that I can share. So in short, what I feel is that our conservationists can learn from these technologies and use these technologies as well, although we have been doing well. And last slide I want to show is, there's I think a book written called Future Files, History of the Next 50 Years. Here, they are trying to predict what are the things that will become extinct. He said that in 2009, mending things will become extinct, which may be true. Many of the cobblers in India lost their jobs because now the shoes have become so cheap. We get it cheaply from India. No, people no more need to really repair the shoes. And then 2016, retirement will become, the library will become extinct. 2037, glaciers will become extinct. But going down in 2050, ugliness will become extinct, which means every person will be, handsome and beautiful. Maybe through genetic engineering or plastic surgery, I don't know. But also it is said that nation states and also death, maybe people can live forever. So that is what is predicted for 2050. But then 2037, if we say that glaciers will become extinct, maybe the whole life will become extinct, then there is no use of getting rid of ugliness and all that. So this is something to ponder upon. And with that, I would like to end my talk. Thank you so much.